Hey everybody, I wanted to make this video because I see so many videos on YouTube where influencers and people are just trying to sell you the idea that you can make a lot of money making art and that your dreams can come true. And it's nice to sell those dreams, but I can't help but get kind of annoyed when I see video after video selling this dream. When I know, as somebody's been painting for, 30 years now, it's extremely difficult, and I've gone to, I'm not trying to brag, but I've gone to some of the, the most well-known painting programs in the world, like at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago and the Glasgow School of Art. And while I haven't been this great gallery success, I'm not trying to say that I am. I've certainly had friends that are, and I've know a lot of artists throughout the years who have worked really, really hard, and even with their nonstop work and dedication, they still have a lot of problems with money. So when I see all these videos on YouTube promising these simple marketing tips and stuff like this, it's, I'm sorry, but it's bullshit. Okay? Most all these people are bullshit. And I was looking through them thinking of, how can I make a video by dissecting what somebody else has done or said? And I think the simplest way is just to do a React video, actually, which is kind of funny. And I found this one. I just typed in how to make money as a painter into YouTube, and this is the first video that popped up. I haven't watched it yet, but let's get into it. And I'm just going to react to it as it goes and pause as this video plays. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe this person is good. Her name's Brooke. Um, she's probably a nice person, I guess, judging by the thumbnail. But let's just see what this is all about. I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing, and we can look at a couple other videos as well. I'll give my commentary and try to add to what she's talking about or refute some of her points.
Hi, I'm Brooke Cormier.
They always, okay, first thing is all these videos, they tend to, you can see how they're playing to the algorithm immediately in the first 15 seconds, which is fine. Everybody's got to do their deal to, slog through the algorithm jail. But why? They always have coffee. I was watching too many of these videos the other day. There's always coffee involved in the beginning of the video. It's just like, oh, I'm going to grind my coffee. Anyway, here we go.
Full-time self-taught painter, and I've been making a living from my art sales for the past 8 years.
Okay. Full-time self-taught painter. Nothing wrong with being self-taught at all. Nothing wrong with being a full-time artist. See if we can learn more about how she does this, where she lives, and how she can afford it.
And I am not gifted. This is a topic I've been wanting to talk about for a while now because I'm reminded.
I imagine this is going to be the whole, like, you work hard and you learn, which is true. I mean, you have to learn, even if you kind of know how to draw, if you work harder and harder and harder, you're going to get better if you work smart. However, the gifted thing does annoy me a little bit because people are gifted, okay? Mozart was gifted. And I know this is controversial to talk about genius and this sort of thing. It ruins everything. But some people are gifted and they just are naturally better at visual things. Some people are gifted with, like, that insane kid that can, like, recite pi to like a million places. That kid is gifted. Sorry, some people are more gifted at visual color and line and these sorts of things. It doesn't mean you can't learn, but some people are kind of born on third base.
Reminded of it every time someone says,
"You have a God-given gift,"
or
"You're so lucky to have such talent,"
or
"I wish
True.
I were also gifted."
And today
It is
I'm
annoying.
here to tell
That
you
is
that
annoying.
that is, quite frankly, BS. Becoming a talented artist has nothing to do with some God-given gift, and while I defend that statement, I'm gonna paint the Colosseum, because why not?
Okay, so she's setting out on a journey to make a painting because we got to have a YouTube video that has some sort of a storyline or whatever. That's fine. I take it she's in Italy if she's going to paint the Colosseum, unless she's going to get a Google image or something. but actually it's commission for my dear client boss. So she has a client, she has a collector. We would generally call them collectors. She has somebody who collects her work. We're gonna get a process video here. Speed it up.
So, let's talk about talent. I looked up the meaning of the word talent, and according to the Merriam-Webster
Okay.
dictionary, talent is defined as a special, often athletic, creative, or artistic aptitude.
Right.
Though the more I dove into various definitions of the word, the more I became aware of an ongoing debate, and that is talent something you're born with, or can it be developed? Speaking from my
Right.
own experience, I do believe that people are born with natural inclinations towards certain things. I would spend twice as long as any of my class.
Yes,
I didn't
good.
come out of the
Okay,
womb
so you're
instinctively
making a
knowing how to
she
draw
can
proportionally.
paint.
I came out loving
She
to
knows
create,
how to
and I spent a
paint.
good chunk of my childhood fostering that love. So when it comes to talent, my personal definition is having
A
the
little
capacity for
illustrative,
success
but-
from fostering a natural inclination, not an innate ability.
It's all right.
Abilities and skills
She
are
can
acquired over
paint.
time with practice and dedication, and that is what will make you a talented artist. So listen, if you're feeling down because you don't think you're quote-unquote
All right, so I mean, dedication, yes. Keeping up, doing things again and again every day makes you better at it. If you play the piano every day, you're going to get better at learning how to play the piano. Probably true. I don't know if we needed a 3-minute process video for that, but yeah, true. Work hard.
talented enough to become a successful artist, you're tripping. You can learn the skills that will get you to where you want to be. The most important factor in your success will be your dedication to improve. And this is the mentality that I take with me when trying to cultivate any new skill. Take editing these videos, for example. 2 years ago, when I started taking my YouTube channel more seriously, I had no previous experience with making videos.
Yes,
I didn't
but
know what editing
nothing is
software
about-
to pull the footage with no audio. But
Right, okay, so we learned how she learned. I mean, she's good at editing. She's great at editing, unless she just pays somebody to compile all these. The edits are good. The video looks good. We're not really learning anything about how to make money as a painter. So far, we've learned keep trying. Okay, keep trying. Keep doing it every day. Yeah, sure. And this is kind of where I don't want to throw her under the bus yet, but how much money is she making from painting versus how much she's making from YouTube and some course she's selling? We could be in a situation where we have a person selling courses about how to sell courses. We'll see. Nice videos, though. Good edits. Nice camera. I mean,
So if you're also on a journey of improving your filmmaking skills and bringing your stories to life, click the link in the description below and start soundtracking your content now with Epidemic Sound. Thank you to Epidemic
yeah,
Sound for
she's
sponsoring
got
this
it.
video. So, bye.
oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. So now we know a big source of the income most likely isn't the painting. How much did she make on that painting versus how much did she make on that ad? She's got a lot of subs. She's got a big Instagram. So the reason why this annoys me is because there's people out there who can paint and they're working hard at what they do, and they click on a video like this thinking they might get some answers about how to approach galleries or whatever, and we end up seeing somebody who's likely making a large portion of their income off of ad deals, and she's an influencer. And that's cool. She is the subject, right? That painting, when did we see the painting? The Colosseum painting's okay. It's big. I mean, yeah, I could critique that, but there's no use right now. But it just becomes, you're an influencer. Okay, fine. But if you're a painter, you don't want to be told, like, oh, I've been painting and I'm really interested in Degas or painters and all this sorts of stuff. And then here's your pathway to becoming a successful painter. It's to do ad deals. And
Big believer of this. But it's one thing to learn a skill, and it's another thing to reach a level of mastery. This takes more than just practice and dedication. It also takes passion, a real love for your craft.
yes, we still have it. Oh, she goes back to the painting. Okay, that's cool.
I know that I have a long way to go before I can even consider calling myself a master of painting. But I'm confident that I can get there because I love what I do.
No.
And as long as I can remain dedicated to improving and passionate about what I'm creating, I actually feel really excited about my potential. This is
Okay. Here's the thing. There is this kind of belief out there, and it's good to believe it when you're young, especially. And so good. That's good that she thinks this. We don't live in a world where we really have like, oh, I will get to become a master at one point. Because the way you're painting is not contemporary. And it's not bad. It's not mean to say it. The way I'm painting is probably from 20 years ago. I'm not contemporary either. That's a problem. But you get stuck where you get stuck sometimes. But this idea that there's one level of mastery, it's often common with a lot of plein air painters as well, I think, where it's like, I can only get to this point because you got one subject, right? Maybe she does a lot of urban landscapes, and that's like her main thing that she's doing, which is cool. And she wants to do that over and over again. That's totally fine. And she's got people buying her work. That's awesome. But we don't live in an academy system where people are granted the status of master or these sorts of things. If you even look at the High Renaissance, for instance, like Raphael, at the tail end of the High Renaissance, like that's why Mannerism developed, was because they got so good at what they were doing, at being the High Renaissance, combining all these different things into one painting. They got so good at it that people like El Greco and people like Parmigianino, there he is, Little Parmesan with the Madonna with the long neck and these types of paintings. That was a reaction to people just being so great, being so good at replicating reality and replicating, atmosphere and these sort of things, that they started saying, like, we're going to have to elongate the neck, right? And so if you're the painter who's elongating the neck at that point, are you the master, right? Because when people are seeing it, or El Greco's work, for instance, when people are seeing it, they're like, why is his forearm so long, So, and you don't see people often wanting to paint like El Greco. That's not a goal. Painting like Raphael is a goal, but painting like El Greco, not so much. So when you say a master, you're kind of appealing to this ideal, most likely of the High Renaissance, which is cool, but it's just not that relevant.
This is a feeling I held close when I was deciding whether or not I should even try pursuing a full-time career as an artist. I kept thinking to myself, imagine what I could achieve if I dedicated my whole life to this thing that I love. If I spent every working day fostering my talent and learning and growing, 20, 30...
Fostering my talent?
8 years. And I am not gifted.
Okay, gifted. I guess you can be talented then.
Luck has played no part in is my artistic ability, my talent. Luck has nothing to do with skill development. Developing your skills is 100% within your control and...
Dude, no. Okay. Luck has everything to do with how good you get at... That's what painting is. You don't approach a painting like it's a recipe, right? Where you're like, even a recipe, there's still luck involved. If you're making pizza, right, and you have certain conditions and humidity in an environment, that's going to cause the dough to rise at different levels. It's going to cause the pizza to form different types of crusts. And part of that is the luck of the environment. When you're painting and maybe you've had a terrible day, or maybe you've had a great day, but maybe let's say it's terrible and you've had a terrible day, and you sit down and you start painting, and then you make a couple marks and you're like, oh, wow, this is actually better than I thought. I wasn't even in the mood to paint. Now this painting's not terrible. That's luck. It happens all the time in painting. Painting should be about luck.
Not be attributed to some divine source. In my experience, the more...
Now we're bringing God into it? Okay. Fine. Albrecht Dürer, he was a devout man, and he could paint a rabbit better than anybody else in the world. Whatever. If people want God, and
the more I developed my skills and fostered my talent...
It's an unbelievably, she's this very pretty, vivacious, young woman, and She has a extremely technical, narrow view of how to make painting.
The luckier I became. It was lucky for me to have found an art mentor right before I graduated university, but he wouldn't have agreed to mentor me had he not been impressed by my artistic abilities.
Okay, fair
It
enough,
was
yeah.
luck that landed me an invitation to Creator Camp last year, where I met incredible people who have provided me with countless new opportunities.
Creator Camp.
But I wouldn't have received an invitation had I not spent years building an online community.
Okay. Again, we're not talking about painting. Creator Camp is not painting. Every time I go to these videos, it's always everything but painting.
Through sharing my art. The more you focus on developing your skills and becoming the talented artist you know you can be,
Terrible
the
advice.
more opportunities will present themselves, and the luckier you will become.
Don't work on your skills. Don't. Okay, the reveal thing. Fine. Don't look at painting like you're working on your skills. It's not the same thing. It's not how you approach painting. It's not how you make paintings. You don't make paintings by doing like scales on the piano. See, music makes sense. Music makes a lot of sense to practice to a certain point, right? And you do play the scales and you do these sorts of things like right? And you keep on doing it, and that's fine. That's cool. Painting doesn't work like that. You don't just sit down and be like, I'm going to make some value scales for the next 2 hours. I'm going to just bang out these value scales. Like, no, you paint and you discover as you're painting. And a lot of times the painting should show that discovery process in the painting. We love that. That's a cool thing about it. It's not, again, it's not changing, an oil filter on a car, which is good. You should know how to change an oil filter. But you're not going to discover like experimental oil filter changing abilities while you're doing that. And that's something kind of unique about painting and writing as well. Music too. When you get good at music, people always talk about like, disconnecting from what they're doing. They're kind of like on autopilot. Fine. If she taught herself how to make that, that's cool. Or she said she was mentored. Not self-taught. Didn't go to school, I guess we could say. And being self-taught in this day and age, especially with painting, is an odd place now because, we have so much access to different ways of learning and making and videos and stuff like this. More coffee.
So, it's easy to look at a talented artist and label them as gifted or lucky, but what you don't see is the thousands of hours they put into developing that
True,
talent.
yeah,
You don't
okay.
see all the failures they've had to overcome and the moments of doubt and feelings of loneliness. There's an entire journey hidden behind that incredible painting or sculpture or film or whatever. So when you see an artist who you admire for their talent, I encourage you to ground that admiration in the fact that they didn't give up. Despite the inevitable low points,
Right,
they kept
okay,
going. They were
we
dedicated
still
and
have the
passionate because they loved
dedication.
their
Don't
craft.
give
And
up.
I encourage you to feel motivated by this because that potential is within you too. So thank you so much for
Self-help.
watching this video. I hope that it has left you feeling good and maybe like you want to create something, or maybe you've been creating something this whole time. And if that's the case, then let me know in the comments. It's always
I mean, I'm sorry, Brooke. All I learned about through this video was you should keep trying, which is good. But at the end of the day, it's this motivational stuff, man. Oh, is this every video has to be this now, right? If you're making a food review blog, you have to like have 17 cuts per 30 seconds of different close-ups, different mid-size shots, the sizzle, the guy you're talking to at the fried crab stand or whatever it is.
It's interesting for me to know what we've been doing together for this past little while. If you like the video and you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm really going to be leaning into a lot of art advice stuff this year, but I will be sure to sprinkle some fun ones in there as well. Also,
Art advice. Life coaching. Okay, everybody likes life coaches, and not everybody has access to school, and so I'm not against life coaches. Is this the only place it leads? I knew this was going to happen. I should try another one at random just to see if it and do a guy just so I feel bad now.
Big life update. I am currently moving from my home in Toronto, Canada to Vienna, Austria. So
Wow.
that's a big change. Things have been
Vienna.
very hectic, and you will probably be seeing a lot of different backdrops in the coming videos because I don't have a place to live yet. Still figuring a lot of stuff out, but hopefully
That's
I get settled
cool.
into a
Vienna's
studio
nice.
soon after arrival,
Vienna's a
and
nice place.
it's going to be exciting. I will be sure to keep you updated on that, but I have a broadcast channel where I'll be posting in a lot more frequently on my Instagram called Studio Tings. If you want to join, you are free to join. Anyways, enough chit-chat. Thank you again so much for watching. You know already how much I appreciate your likes and subscribes and comments and views and all that nice stuff. It really helps me
Like
maintain
and
the channel.
subscribe down
I also want to
below.
wish a Happy New Year. I know
Give
that
me a
we're all going to
sub.
be great this year. We're all going to slay it. We're going to slay. I'm feeling very optimistic about this coming year, and I hope that you are too. I hope you have an absolutely marvelous day.
Okay, she's fine. She's a nice person. She's nice. You know, I'm not gonna say as a person, I'm sure she's very nice. Painting's been around for a long time, right? Painting's been around for. Imagine the cave painters trying to figure out. You know, they got their hand and they spit paint all over it onto the wall, and imagine the cave painter just like. Yo, taking a selfie with it. They're two different things, is what I'm saying. And they've been conflated into one thing. There's a thing called painting, and then there's a thing called being an influencer. And they're different things. And when you position yourself as giving like artists advice or painters advice, that's the only time it kind of rubs me a little bit the wrong way, because not that I have all the answers, or not that you have to go to a university to get all the answers, but that people end up focusing so much time on, you know, marketing. And they should spend that time painting, you know? And here I am, I'm making videos because I'm addicted to making videos. I have 600 videos on this channel, been doing it for 18 years, and I've got nowhere. This is how not to make a YouTube channel right here. But I don't know. Just focus on your work. Find a painter you like. Just find a painter, one painter. How many, you know, a lot of times I'll have students, I just ask, okay, who's your favorite painter? Who's your favorite artist? And then they'll be like, I really like Steven Spielberg or something. And you're just like, what? Just have a favorite painter. It doesn't have to be, it can be a contemporary one. And if it's a contemporary one, examine, you know, what is the world that they're living in? Find out that they're really making paintings. They're really making money off their paintings. We've got enough problem with this in universities with professors who don't make anything, right? So look at what they make. Look at what they paint with actual paint, right? And see where they fit in, what gallery they're at. They probably at some gallery that has other work like them. That's a big problem for artists. They just apply to the wrong galleries. But that's my advice. If you want to take home some advice from this video, find a painter you like. Just find out who they are. Find out where they're represented, if they are. Find out where they sell their work, how they sell it, and then try to replicate that in your own way. But don't do it like them, because then you're just the knockoff version of them. Anyway, hope you like this video. Thanks a lot for watching, and yeah, smash that like button down below. Whoop, whoop.